So, you decided to click play on this episode of the Decibel Boost podcast, the official music podcast of the website Surreal Resolution. I'm your host, Scatman Rob, and with me I have...
I woke up from a nap 20 minutes ago. Hooray for me.
And...
Y'all wanna boycott Netflix now, white people? For real?
They'll boycott anything that has the slightest shade of seasoning on it.
If no, get my shit. Yeah, what I'm talking about. Yeah, President Obama. Yeah, I said President. Fuck y'all. They got the Obama's got a Netflix multi-year deal. Of doing shit for them.
I didn't actually get to click any of the links though, but did they mention like what kind of content he's producing for Netflix?
All kinds.
I don't know. I just heard that, and I heard people boycotting shit because, how dare that nigga that bullshit.
Yeah.
Wait, so does that mean we're finally getting a Michelle Obama cooking show?
We can only hope. But yeah, I mean, clearly it's working because Netflix's stock has only gone up since noon today.
Yep.
Stocks. I wish I had time to look at that stuff instead of looking at useless stuff like the Cowboy Bebop totals. They're almost at 700 people. Just gotta... I have my fingers crossed because my next paycheck is coming in this Friday, and hopefully I can, shuffle some of that money away for the fancy box sets. I need these things. I think I deserve nice things every once in a while. Stop laughing. I know who you are. I will find you. But anyway, yeah, episode 82. So, how have you guys been?
Well, been doing more of the same stuff, really. Can't talk about much, but I did go see Deadpool 2 this past weekend, and of course, it was excellent.
Sounds like everyone had fun with it, but I was stuck catching up on some stuff, so therefore I could not.
Well, it'll still be there.
Well,
all
hopefully.
Of that flippin' incredibly bloody, hysterical goodness will be there.
Will Jeff still be there?
Probably, yes. And aside from that, I've just been trying to avoid all of the cartoon discourse lately because...
Wars!
Oh boy, the discourse? Let me tell you, I have strong opinions online about children's animation.
I don't care anymore. I'm just so tired of it.
Animation fans are their own worst enemy, just like Scots and other Scots.
Those damn Scots.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Mark?
So let's see. That's like I saw Deadpool 2. Yeah, and I fucking did hell of it. Also caught up on some Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I've been slow on TV so long. I need to catch up on that shit. And so the finale, which I liked, and our family is getting another season into a better network.
Yeah.
Also, maybe, also, yay, Terry Crews, just because he's Terry Crews.
Hooray, Terry Crews. He's the best. I assume. I haven't actually seen an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine in full yet.
I guess he can handle his hot wings.
Yes, he can. Is it on Hulu? No, seriously, is Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Hulu? I need to know so I can watch there.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, it should be on Hulu.
Sweet. Finally, I can have something else to watch besides binging the past season of MasterChef. By the way, new season next week. Hype. Yeah, what do you want from me? I'm a Ramsay fanboy. Shut up. Anyway, as for me, nothing too eventful. Mostly just catching up on some manga reading. Getting through those next couple of Berserk volumes I had on hand. Finally getting back around to Final Fantasy VII, and I finally remembered where I left off this time. And I'm, making some progress on that. Hopefully I can finally beat it this time, instead of just kind of giving up halfway through. I mean, I have no choice. The people that saw my poll on my Twitter profile all voted in that direction, weirdly enough. In the same poll that had the new God of War and Horizon and those Fire Emblem Fates games I still haven't gotten around to yet. You people have some weird priorities on my Twitter feed, y'all, I swear. But that's enough of that, so now it's time to actually move on to the important stuff. With, of course, the new song discussions for this past week. And as always, there will be a link to a playlist down in the description so you can hear these songs for yourselves, follow along with us and our opinions and takes on it. But before we actually get started, I just need to do some quick maths here. 2 plus 2 equals 4, minus 1 equals 3. Yes, it looks like the theorem once proposed by Professor Big Shaq in the classic mathematical thesis Man's Not Hot still holds water. But it appears that Mr. Michael DePaak is back once again, and as you can tell by the title of his newest track, Man Don't Dance, there's kind of a bit of a motif here, shall we say? So I'm guessing he's going to try and ride this whole shtick as far as he can go, which I'm guessing will ultimately involve the lyrics from this song getting plastered all over the Wikipedia page for A Way Out. Yeah, remember when that happened? That fucking co-op game that came out like a month ago? That was weird, right?
I think I heard of it.
Yeah, it happened in the middle of the last Game Awards.
Okay.
And he was all like, fuck the Oscars or whatever, but that's a tangent.
Yeah, that shit. I heard part of that before. Yeah, I heard that shit happen.
I still have the screenshots on my phone from that day to prove it. But anyway, as for Man Don't Dance, this is, a song about how Big Shaq, the man, he don't dance, regardless of whatever any kind of pretty girl tries to get him to dance or whatever. I mean, it's a little slow on the beat, so maybe it doesn't have as much energy as, the big breakout meme hits where the ting went skra. And actually, now I think about it, like, I know it might be kind of hard to tell with this particular guy, but trust me when I say Man Don't Dance doesn't have technically as much deliberate gibberish as Man's Not Hot. I mean, there's a few ad-libs at the end, but there isn't as much of the tingo skra here. Also, he brags about being the guy who wrote Man's Not Hot, because why wouldn't you brag about being a big internet meme?
Okay, this track. I'm gonna admit, I was confused as fuck listening to this, because I mean, I have heard Man's Not Hot maybe in a couple, maybe 1 or 2 times, maybe in some part, a few times in some parts, since, a lot of people share that shit. And, okay, I just gotta comment on this. Damn, this got me scratching my head. Like, literally, I'm scratching my head right now.
Well, I mean, that's because you just have, some slight itching right there. See, you really need to get some conditioner or something. Just saying. But yeah, so that's Big Shaq, because obviously we had to mention it here somewhere, else how are we going to bring in those page views? But now let's move on from some weird piss take of the grime genre to the real thing, here with a one-off track from rapper Skepta with Pure Water. Wanna take this one over, Mark?
Yes, I will. So Skepta, I don't know, he's of course check us out with his, his usual grimy trap beat all over this rubbery kind of beat, which also, those things are off water, like pure ice, pure water, lots of ice. She knows that I be the boss of life, which water. It's about water now, and
row your boats.
yeah, down the fucking stream. But yeah, listen to Skepta. Like, Skepta is, grime rapper that always caught some attention to me. Like, even though I will say, we'll say, this track this is good shit on it. Like, I've been getting more to Skepta often, although I heard one feature him, or feature before, and this is pretty good shit I'm hearing from him.
Nice. So now let's actually move out of the UK and move on to some American shit. I think. I'm actually not sure where this guy's from. But yes, guess what, Mac? Paak is back!
Yes!
And that level of rhyme construction is why I should never be allowed on a mixtape. But yes, it seems Mr. Anderson .Paak is still cooking up some kind of new release for this year. We're still not completely sure on the timetable. But we got another track from him in the meantime. It's a track called Bubblin'. And what I gotta say here, I'm mainly familiar from him. I think the only thing I've heard from him so far is that No Worries track. So maybe take my opinion with a grain of salt. But who the hell knew this guy had a fucking banger in him? Holy shit!
Yes, yes. I know some of you. I know maybe some of you know him as mostly Paak as a singing Paak, but this is rapping Paak, and rapping Paak delivered a fucking banger, and it is so damn good and so infectious. It's so infectious with the beat. Got this cartoon sound like beat, because I remember the horns. I remember like that probably sound like something you hear from Cuphead. At least what I got from it. And of course, what's also great about the song is also the music video.
Yes, there's the whole thing basically follows an ATM that eternally shoots out cash. Just perpetually. It's like
just shoots. Yeah, it shoots out cash all and like if we see that, I mean, like, yeah, man, oh shit, give me that money. I'll be like, man, even there's like one scene where the cash just go with this girl's like, oh, how they treat you like that? You just let it all out, like, and then she could like, yeah, let it all out, like, bucket the cash, like, man, this shit is funny.
And then of course that last perfect ending where the fucking ATM just falls on Paak, who has 6 arms for some reason.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's the weird part of the video. Like, okay, yeah, it's trippy shit, but damn, this joint is banging. This is if y'all wondering if y'all wondering if you like rapping Paak, then guess what? This is how damn good rapping Paak is.
It's the Paak attack, yo. And I think I just used up every Paak pun I had.
Okay, for that album whenever it comes out.
Yes, we're still waiting on that.
Even though they say it's almost done.
So he says, but you never know with these guys. It could just drop out of the blue, out of nowhere. But anyway, let's move on from that. Revisiting the topic of Ghost, their newest album, Prequelle, coming out June 1st. And apparently they were teasing a new song. I guess they were, from what I saw, doing like the Instagram thing. Like you know that one, like, the first interdimensional cable episode of Rick and Morty? They released that whole fucking thing through like an Instagram fucking shit or whatever. Yeah, apparently.
Oh yeah, that
apparently
shit.
Ghost did the same thing with their latest single, Dance Macabre. But thankfully, somebody actually decided to upload the whole thing on the internet like a normal person. But I mean, that doesn't really help things because last song didn't wow me. Only thing that really got my attention was that it was somehow even more glam, and this one seems even more glam than that. Seriously, this feels like it comes from the same school of glam rock as like freaking, like, it's a few synth lines away from just being a Europe B-side. That's really all I got. Seriously, this shit is just like, it's so corny, you could serve it at a barbecue.
Damn.
That's one way to put it, I guess. But, yeah, I was not expecting the disco vibes from this one. But it does have a pretty strong groove to it. And it leaves a better impression on me than their first single from this new album of theirs did, which I've completely forgotten about by now. So, yeah, good stuff, Ghost. Well done. Well done.
In case you haven't figured it out by now, when it comes to the topic of Ghost, Alex is good cop and I am bad cop. Except neither of us are played by Liam Neeson. Now, when's that proper Lego Movie sequel coming out?
Sometime soon, from what I hear.
Yeah, apparently they got a title now and everything.
Yes, the second part.
Yes, I see somebody from Warner Brothers has went to the Sharknado School of Sequel Titles.
Except I'm actually going to want to see the Lego Movie 2, and not any of that Sharknado shit. But anyway, let's move on from that. Once again to the topic of YOB. The week after Prequelle, we have their latest album, Our Raw Heart. And we actually have the title track from that album, and, I don't normally, rank these tracks in any particular way, but if I had to pick a favorite track I heard this week, it would probably be this one. And I think I'm kind of seeing what, the big picture of the album is going to be. The last song we had, The Screen, was this very creaky, slow, trudging, kind of bitterly nihilistic sort of sludge, metal song, considering this was after, friggin' Mike Scheidt had like a whole bunch of like medical problems, which apparently also included MRSA, from what I remember.
Ew. Now.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that a while ago.
But this one is the complete and total opposite. The production overall is much, more polished and clean, relatively speaking. And, it opens up with a lot of soft but dynamic, clean guitar melodies that kind of bounce back and forth between, like, a sort of somber joyfulness, so to speak. And then even when the rest of the band does kick in after, like the first minute or so, it still keeps up that very moody sort of chord progression and melody, and with the vocals in and everything, it's all more focused on like lush, beautiful melodies. Like it almost sounds like a mix between like Pelican and Pallbearer, if you're looking for like a general frame of reference. And there's just kind of this like sort of saddening but also happy hypnotic effect that it kind of had on me as like it was going on for all 15 minutes. Like I was getting like lumps in my throat listening to this shit, man. It's like you start off with one of the most bitter songs they've ever written, but now we have what's probably the most, like, heartbreakingly beautiful song they've ever crafted. If the whole album kind of has, like, that kind of really dynamic contrast and experience, this could really be something special from the lads in YOB here. I'm stoked. I'm still stoked for this.
Mm-hmm. This is quite the odyssey of a track. Very slow building, with plenty of emotion to it, how it just builds up to that final descending groove at the very end. It certainly got me curious about the rest of this album. I want more. I need more.
Yes, we all need more, don't we? But, anyway, let's move on from that to someone who is, in fact, giving us more. This lad seems to be rather busy recently. 9 Inch Nails. They've had a couple of EPs out the past couple of years, and apparently now they have a new... Apparently it's not an EP, it's apparently supposed to be like a different kind of project, even though it's only like 6 tracks, and that's, EP, but whatever. Who am I to question the brilliant mad mind of Trent Reznor? But yeah, they have a new project coming out June 22nd called Bad Witch, and we have a song from that project called God Break Down the Door, and, compared to the last time we talked about 9 Inch Nails, this sounds different enough, I suppose. Yeah, there's like, the main thrust of it is this, the beat has a lot of this really like warbly, like, sort of 90s electronic kind of bass thing in there, just kind of bouncing all over the place. And let's not forget about hashtag the most common drum beat in the world. But, it's got, a groove. You could dance to it if I suppose you wanted to. And of course, also, apparently there's saxophones in here. Just kind of, mixed in there all throughout, like, the mix and the howling electronics and everything. It's yeah, like I said, all I really have to say is it's very dancey, I suppose. If your definition of dance is filtered through, like, I guess whatever Trent Reznor thinks goth counts as. It's alright, I suppose.
I think we have a theme for these songs we're talking about this week. Lots of dance vibes.
Yep.
But, why does this song remind me of a cross between LCD Soundsystem and Aphex Twin?
That's the name I was looking for. I don't know why I blanked on Aphex Twin. Maybe because it sounds like a little more simple than your typical Aphex Twin, but... I mean...
Yeah.
Trent Reznor probably likes, Richard James and his fucking creepy face.
I mean, who doesn't?
I don't. It scares me.
Okay, then. But
pretty sure I had a nightmare about it once.
Okay. Well, as for this track, big fan to it.
Yeah, so that's it for Mr. Reznor, and now let's move on to Mr. Johnny Jewel, who apparently had surprise dropped a new album earlier today. Yeah, another one. Weird, right? Looks like you got some work to do, Mac.
Oh, yeah.
But, we'll tackle that when we have to tackle that. But what we're really concerned with here is Johnny Jewel's project, Chromatics, which, as you all know, they've been making us wait a long-ass time for their newest album, Dear Tommy, which, as you might all remember, Johnny Jewel had apparently destroyed all the recordings of after a near-death experience. and just decided to work the whole thing back from scratch. But apparently we now have a rough timetable for the album, supposedly coming out fall of this year. Yeah, sure. And so is Kingdom Hearts 3. But we'll see. And so we have yet another track from the album called Black Walls. And this isn't on the... Okay, technically, all the synths are there. There's kind of that sort of minimal, grungy guitar melody. Ruth's, her soft, breathy vocal performances. But even with all, that melody and those synths on there, there's kind of some, it's more on the somber and ominous side of the chromatic scale. It's not like one of the more chipper sounding ones, like Shadow, for example. Yeah, this one's, for all the sad people out there, which I definitely wouldn't know anything about.
This is definitely some, sad vibes. Although, it has some weird vibes too, because the beginning goes here's black, red, brown, green, yellow, in a weird child voice. Because I think that shit. But yeah, I'll say about the song is it's very mesmerizing. The sounds are mesmerizing, and I kind of get entranced to it once I go going back and forth to it, and yeah, this is a very dancey sad music. It's a very dancey type of show right now.
Now, can we actually just get the whole album already?
More disco vibes. What is it about these tracks that have like a dance vibe to them?
Disco.
It's crazy.
I mean, the only type of dance I can imagine you doing to this is just staring at your feet.
Yeah, we needed some shoegaze to round it out then, but yeah, this is a good track. Good bit of 80s pop flavor to it, especially with the video. It's filled with that aesthetic that people like.
Weird. I didn't see any Fiji water.
The 80. I did sense that 80s aesthetic on it, especially with from the video, even the font. Yes, the font, the title. I'm talking about fonts.
Yeah, this is we're debating about text fonts and music videos. This is a new low for us, I think.
Damn.
It's like when Psycho Stick once sang about real estate. But anyway, while we're on the topic of a alumnus of the Adult Swim Singles program, let's dive into the actual past week's entry into the Adult Swim Singles program. Which, dang, I think we still got 8 tracks left. It's almost coming up on a year now. We're waiting. Which, jeez, that Migos track is just coming any minute now. but anyway,
maybe this week.
Wait, for real?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
But anyway, this past week's entry is the third contribution from electronic musician Tim Hecker. This one is a 5-minute track called Rose Light, and yes, this thing does in fact, it's 5 minutes of droning electronic sounds. Lots of stuttering, screeching bleeps and blips, like the glitchy sound of a busted telephone signal. Lots of pops and cracks in the mix. There's some softer, droning synths that are kind of below and lower pitched and higher pitched, just in, the various crevices of the mix. Swells and softens, as it goes on. And there is a point, about closer to the back half where all that glitchiness kind of backs off, and then it's just the droning synthesizers and everything. But this one feels more on the noise side, compared to the last Adult Swim single we got from the guy. There's not as much of a melody here, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the whole song feels like a horror movie where for it's nighttime, you see all sorts of fog and someone coming out of the, I don't know, let's say lagoon or lake or whatever, and that's shit you hear when you see that shit. If you try to run from it, and then I think as we get to the back half, since I was really thinking, oh, it must have run off, and then that's it.
And then it comes to get you.
Well, that too.
By the way, Mark, look out behind you.
I'm not falling for that.
Damn it. It works sometimes, I swear, people. But yeah, so we got that. There's a few more weeks, a few more songs left, including fucking Migos, although, look, I just don't care, okay? You can miss me with that bullshit. And you ain't really wild. You a tourist. That's a better segue than anything else you're going to get at me this week, you know?
Yeah, so, our next song of the day, hey, remember J-Rock? Part TDE had that one song we all like this year, even though, let's be honest, let's be honest, did you, what song, did you forget that he was part of the song too, or use the credit first name in there? I mean, come on, think about it. Kingstead, you probably remember mostly Kendrick for it, and Future for, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, J-Rock, as before, we got a new album coming out, which today announced the title of it, called Redemption, in stores June 15th.
Yep.
Which has a lot of albums, a lot of hip hop coming out that day. Damn.
Damn indeed. Who knows? We might even get a new edition of Damn. Maybe the Super Ultra Collector's Edition that actually has, like, you know, a super chopped up order where, like, actually, I don't know, like, what other screwy order could you release that album in?
I don't know.
Alphabetical?
That. Or maybe it opens with, like, 12 tracks of silence.
Okay. Anyway, the song J. Rock is called "Win," and of course, yes, it features "Come from Kendrick Lamar," but the verse he ad libs most of the time because I guess I say, "Hey, Kendrick, look, I love you, my nigga, but can you do the verses and can you do the ad libs this time because I know, because I'm in this edition too. Come on, man, damn. I mean, I'm not Future. I can be a good rapper.
It's true, you can."
And J-Rock is good. I mean the subject here is like kind of like it's mostly the whole thing about trying for adversity, he's going for the big wins in life, all that shit, and of course it's over this big with this big long horn riff and these drums sound like a marching band. It sound like a marching band. This actually played well if it was on a pep rally. Now I think about it.
Yep, I mean that makes sense. It is called Win after all.
Win.
So why not have a beat that's all like sounding successful as hell?
Yeah, this is some triumphant shit. This is some shit you play when you win the fight or won the race, or this is some triumphant shit here from him. And wow, like something like it's good, but the lyrics are, I mean, they're alright. They ain't the greatest, but hey, it's still a banger. And hopefully we'll see what goes on when this album coming out, when the rest of this album come out, June 15th.
Yeah, beat's cool. His bars and his flow are okay, but nothing super memorable. And am I the only one that thinks it's just super weird that like Kendrick was just doing the ad libs? It's like, damn, you bring in Kung Fu Kenny, and you don't even get like half a verse out of the guy. You just have him, like, doing Migos shit?
Kind of a waste, isn't it?
I know, right? I'm not even sure I have a good metaphor here. I mean, that's like, doing a big Oscar-baity drama and only having, like, 5 seconds of Daniel Day-Lewis in it. What the hell? Anyway, that taken care of. So now let's move on from a song to a giant freaking wall of text courtesy of Mr. Aesop Rock. You never make these things easy for us, do you, man? But, that's okay. I still like the dude. So, he dropped, a one-off track here called Klutz. And, if you've ever heard an Aesop Rock song, you know the style of production at this point, and he just delivers, like, this giant mass of text that kind of makes sense some of the time, but a lot of the time it's just, like, a bunch of thoughts that melt and free flow into one each other, and you're not even sure, like, if there's a bigger point to be had. It's kind of like MF Doom, but white.
Yeah, that's true. And I think you describe my thinking process when it comes to me writing about shit.
Yes. I mean, not gonna lie, like, as with any Aesop Rock song, there's, he's got a good flow, like, amidst all it. And there are some cool
Almost
bars
definitely.
in there, still into ghost stories and pot and the classic coconut bra procedural crime drama shows with holes in the plot, like time machines for shrinking elders, riffling through the recipes, carrots, onions, celery, what unique amalgam of piss and repugnant energy, wait, are you saying carrots, onions, and celery are bullshit? How dare you? Those are great flavors for making chicken stock. Don't make me show you basics with Babish. But yeah, I liked it. Aesop Rock's always good. And hell, in the end of the video, there's a lot of Aesop Rocks in the video, by the way. Lots of Aesop Rocks. It's like, even at the end of the video, just as a quick tangent, he pets a dog. Which I gotta say, what happened to Kirby, dude? Didn't you have a cat named Kirby? What happened?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I did hear that shit on, I think, one of his songs on this last album. But yeah, I mean, I ain't got much to say, but said like, yeah, this track's pretty dope. Weird.
Well, that's Aesop for you.
Yeah.
Still haven't actually seen that movie he scored, by the way, but I heard it wasn't good.
Oh, damn, that's right.
But anyway, time for the last song of the week, and of course, what time is it? Let me check the watch here. That's right, it's Death Grips O'Clock. Still no release date on Year of the Snitch, by the way. Come on, guys. Like, I can't keep waiting here to have, like, the album of the year already. The only one that can match up with Rivers of Nile and The Armed. Come on, people. But, yeah, we have the second release single from the album, Black Paint, and thankfully this one doesn't come with a super weird music video. Just a still image of a member of Organization 13 taking out the trash. or maybe it's like one of Sephiroth's minions. Take your nerd reference pick. But yeah, this one is more... I like it way more than I liked the last track, Streaky. Yeah, this one, instead of just kind of being like some weird like mid-level electronic thing, this one's more of like a bit of a noise rock jam here and there. There's lots of that buzzing, rumbling bass with that, steady rock drum beat, like actual discernible drums in there. Always gotta love that Zach Hill. If there's kind of like... there's some touches of like the government plate style with some of the more synthetic, mixing of elements in there. And, MC Ride, like his presence, it's more subdued here. It's more sort of buried beneath like all the saturated noise. So it's kind of hard to make out like some of what he's rapping about. But even when you, make it out and read the lyrics on the fucking YouTube posting, you still can't get the big picture because it's MC Ride. He knows everything and you don't. But yeah, it almost feels like more of a logical take on like the material of the Jenny Death half of the Powers That Be, except instead of being more aggressively hardcore, it's almost like a somewhat more punky kind of indie rock sort of thing. It's, way more interesting than Streaky, and, again, as always, I'm on board for this. Yellow Flannel.
Yeah, this will be a step up from Streaky. I do dig the sound a bit more than the last one because I did dig that noise rock vibe from it, and it got me banging my head a bit. Like this shit is going on for days and days. Like I said, I'm digging this shit, which I would say a lot in here.
Yep,
I dig this shit.
Looks like Mark is getting his yellow flannel ready too. Eventually, this podcast is just going to become a Fantano cosplay convention.
Okay.
Except all of us have hair.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that just about covers it for this week. So, we're going to move on from that, take a quick break. And when we come back, got some news topics to discuss here. So, stay tuned. And we're back. So we got 3 news topics to discuss here. So to get things started, let's go to the movies. I mean, to see something other than Deadpool 2. which isn't coming out until later on in the year, super late. In this case, the latest big hyped movie industry biopic, Bohemian Rhapsody, telling the life story about the band Queen and all of its various members, including Freddie Mercury, of course, obviously as the most centered figure, because come on, he's Freddie Mercury. Coming out November 2nd, directed by Dexter Fletcher and no one else. No one else was involved.
Right.
There was no other director. But what the hell is a Bryan Singer? Who is that guy? It sounds like a name you made up. No one was involved. He was not there. But, yeah, so finally have a release date on this shit. And, of course, we finally have the first major trailer of the movie, which, for a movie that's, this far out, of course, the first trailer can't tell you everything.
Yeah.
But, it gives you sort of some brief snapshots here and there. Most of it is set to, mashups of, various Queen classics, like Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, We Will Rock You, Killer Queen, the usual greatest hits stuff. And, you get a lot of the crazy outfits, the glitz and glamour of, 70s and 80s rock stardom and everything. And including a brief notion of, a brief segment of them trying to record Bohemian Rhapsody and everything. So, it looks like your typical biopic stuff, up to and including the point where supposedly they may have left out some stuff, so I hear.
Yeah, the big, quote-unquote, problem going around with this movie is that it caps off with their performance at the 1985 Live Aid concert and doesn't dive too deep into, Freddie Mercury's personal details regarding his sexuality and his unfortunate health problems with,
AIDS.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that shit.
But, yeah, I saw this trailer before Deadpool.
I did too.
It's an okay trailer, I guess, though the blending of songs kind of bothered me a little bit, because, man, that just doesn't work. I'm sure Rami Malek is going to be fine as, Freddie Mercury, but capping it off there, that would be like if Straight Outta Compton didn't talk about Eazy-E's bout with AIDS and his death, or the stuff with Dre and Suge Knight. You don't cap off a biopic at one point. You have to tell the whole story.
Wait, I thought Straight Outta Compton did do those things. Snip those things out of the picture.
No, they talked about the Easy AIDS thing and Dre and Suge Knight, and I guess it's, I don't know, Ice Cube Rock Friday, which, yeah, there's a joke on that.
I don't know. I still haven't seen that movie yet.
Well, that's pretty much how it goes, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll probably make its budget back. I mean, it's certainly going to be in a good position in the box office. They should be glad that there's not a Star Wars movie coming out in Christmas time, though.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And confused November 2nd, just in time for Oscar season. If it's gonna get it.
I doubt it.
Yeah. But I will say that if it's one of those things where it's like, it seems like the writing is really off, then I'm probably going to feel bad for, Robbie Malek in the lead role. Because, I admit straight up, I still have not watched iRobot yet. But I hear that show is, of course, great, and that apparently he's great in it as well. So if this is going to be one of those things where it's like he, gives us all with, a screenplay that kind of seems like it's trying to skirt past the really juicy stuff, then, man, you got to feel bad for this guy. Also, apparently there's an actor in this movie called Tom Hollander. I didn't know there was another level of Tom Holland.
Yeah. I don't know much about iRobot aside from that one movie, but Mr. Robot, that's a pretty good show.
Oh, that's what it was. See, you can tell how much I know about, prestige television that everyone else is watching. I'm not very well versed in TV, so to speak, unless it airs on other networks. But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we'll have to see where this goes, once it actually comes out. But anyway, let's move on from that, to Los Angeles, where in the month of October, specifically the 6th and the 7th, the fine folks over at Adult Swim will be putting on their inaugural run of the Adult Swim Festival. Of course, taking place at the Row DTLA in downtown LA. Now, technically, this is not technically new news since, the announcement's been floating around for a while, but we only really had the confirmation of RTJ, of course, as one of their big headliners. Because, of course, why wouldn't you? They're like the signature Adult Swim act at this point. But now we actually have proper lineup announcements for the 2 days, or at least half of the announcement. We got like 22 acts added here. And it's a mix of, Adult Swim adjacent musicians, and of course, comedians as well. So let's actually take a look at the 2 days here. So, Saturday, October 6th, going in order here, we have Chad Van Galen, featured on this year's Adult Swim singles program, and also the composer for Adult Swim's Dream Corp LLC.
Ooh.
So there's a bunch of question marks after his name, and then Code Orange. But, Com Shoes is there.
Yay!
Of course, the homegirl Dawn. Hannibal Burgers. The host of Snail Down. Famous for catchphrases such as, "Bitches be shopping." Joe Firestone. We also have comedian Joe Pera. So, this music festival isn't Coachella, but I did my best, I think. I can't do a good Joe Pera impression. Of course, Kitty will be showing up at the festival as well. Got a good old Thundercat. Waves.
Yep, also a headliner.
Zola Jesus. And then the rest is just question marks.
Yeah, question marks.
So let's move on to the Sunday, October 7th. The acts that are represented on this day, you have Ahmed Barucha, Big Freedia, Bosco, Dan Deacon, High on Fire, yeah! IDK,
yeah!
Max Boy over here, Jenna Friedman, Juliana Barwick, Nick Rutherford, who plays one of the lead roles on Dream Corp LLC, patient number 88. There's going to be On Cinema Live featuring Dakar and DKR. Whatever a DKR is. I assume that's just Dakar with less letters. Of course, the aforementioned Run the Jewels. We got Shigeto, Sound of Ceres, and Unknown Hinson. Heinsohn?
Oh, yeah.
Am I supposed to know who that is?
I don't know.
Early Kyler.
Oh, who was it him? I don't.
Oh.
I'm confused.
Well, I never fucking watched Squidbillies.
Oh, well, he's kind of a local celebrity here in my neck of the woods, so that's why I know him a lot more.
That explains so much. But yeah, interesting for Adult Swim finally, getting into the festival scene with all the musical connections they've built.
Yeah.
And there's still quite a good amount of stuff that has yet to be announced. Maybe there'll be other metal acts in there. Maybe we'll also get a Sleep performance. Maybe, I don't know, Joe Pera will narrate friggin', I don't know, dead joke. Joke aborted. I'm bad at everything. But, yeah, so, anybody want to give us a bunch of money or, rent us out a hotel or an Airbnb or something so we can all go to this? I promise it will only be for press reasons.
Yes.
Yes, press reasons.
Although I can realistically see them just, broadcasting the whole festival on their website, because that's what they do.
Maybe. That'd be cool, though, I admit. So, anyway, let's move on from that to the last news topic of this week. Maybe something you've been seeing around lately. Maybe you're seeing it right now if you're watching this on YouTube, even though I don't think I have ads set up on it because we're not cool enough for that yet. But yeah, sometime, actually, looks like tomorrow proper, YouTube is relaunching, its streaming platform. Apparently now it's being billed as, YouTube Premium and not just, YouTube Red. And it will also include a music streaming service, of course, called YouTube Music. So how this is apparently, it's, first coming out in the United States, Australia, New Zealand, and a bunch of other countries, shortly after. it's going after the Spotify model, where, of course, it's an ad-supported... The ad-supported version is free for users. Going up to the premium version is, of course, $9.99 a month, which actually lets you have background listening and downloads. Finally. It took them that long to figure this shit out, but of course they gotta make you pay for it, those fucking bastards. With no ads. Apparently you can migrate to YouTube Music, of course, if you're already doing a Google Play Music subscription. And as for the general just YouTube Premium stuff, all this is getting folded together. And apparently if you have $12 a month to spend, you get the music shit and, YouTube Premium as well. So you can be listening to the hottest SoundCloud meme rapper at the same time you're watching Cobra Kai. Or whatever that Game Grumps thing was with the dude from Community and Rick and Morty.
Or that Step Up series you probably forgot about. And yes, it's the biggest stuff about Step Up.
Okay.
I don't know why either.
Oh, white people.
So I'm guessing this is going to get to the point where, as we heard like a month ago, that one guy is going to start annoying the shit out of people with ads on music videos. Until they make you pay.
Well, they got my money, so at least I'm grandfathered in and won't get a price increase.
Perhaps not. But we'll see how this all pans out, and we'll see, how YouTube actually plans to compete with something like Spotify in the long term. Of course, they're promising a lot of the same things, thousands of playlists, millions of licensed songs, albums, and artist radios, videos. And apparently there's also going to be, from what I've heard, apparently, like, new tools for, like, proper artist and songwriter credits, which, could be interesting. Everybody gets their due.
Yeah, they've started rolling that out a little while ago, so if you look in the video description on a ton of videos with music in it, you'll see songwriters and copyright notices and all that stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
So, that's cool for those people. They can finally get their due when someone's just, like, scrolling through YouTube trying to find something to, throw on when they're cooking in the kitchen. But, I don't know. I maybe it's because I have too much time invested in Spotify as it is. But, if I can't easily migrate that shit over to YouTube, then it's like, what's the point for me? Seriously, you guys have no idea. Like, that, I have a lot of shit in there. Like, a lot of shit.
Yeah, same for me with Apple Music. I got 50, 60 gigabytes worth of music in there, so yeah, I won't be switching anytime soon.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit on Spotify too, and I ain't gonna switch anytime soon as well.
Are you seeing the problem here?
Yes, that's the problem. Make it transferable, or else we might not consider it.
Yeah, most people are grandfathered in with one service already, and switching from one to another, yeah, that it's not optimal, I'll say.
Yeah, most of us ain't got $9.99 a month to just pay for shit. So I'm just like to wait to pay 3 months for $9.99 because one, we either cheap or, well, we need money for other shit.
Like Adult Swim on the Green or something. Which is coming here next week. I am hyped. But, yeah, that basically covers all the news topics. And now we just have to cover the new album releases for the week of May 25th, 2018. Starting at the top, we have a new EP from Jenny of All with The Long Sleep. We have the newest studio album from synth pop act Churches with Love Is Dead. We have a new album from fucking Hoobastank with Push Pull.
They're still around?
I guess. I don't know, man.
Huh.
I don't determine bands' longevity. I wish I did. Anyway, we have the new solo album from Jonathan Davis of Korn with Black Labyrinth. We have a new full-length project from Zaytoven with Trap Holiday.
Ew.
Okay, then. If Kanye West is to be believed, this week we should finally be getting the new Pusha T album, King Push. We have a new self-titled full-length project from metal act Witch Mountain. And there's this guy here. He's This guy named Shawn Mendes. He's releasing an album. It's named after himself. It's called Shawn Mendes. I don't even know who that is. Is that the guy who ate the chicken wings once? I think he does stuff too.
Songs and shit.
Maybe. But yeah, that's basically the rundown for if you're looking to hit Spotify as soon as the clock strikes 11:30 p.m. on Thursday.
That's when they all go up.
So yeah, now it's just about time to clean house and get the hell out of here. So Alex, where can they find you on the internet?
As always, everywhere under the name Aura of Azure, where I'm not talking about cartoon discourse because, seriously, guys, chill the hell out. Seriously.
Mark, what about you?
Of course, on Twitter, back to having me there where y'all can shame me about my first tweet. And of course, on my site, no matter how one at WordPress.com. So yeah, I reviewed Deadpool 2, and I think in the coming days or so, or maybe right now, if you're listening to this, I might review Fully Cooley first season in preparation for the upcoming, second and third.
It's happening. Mm-hmm. Anyway, as for me, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, CuriousCat, at Rob Barracuda. Email me, robert@surrealresolution.com. Questions, comments, concerns, inquiries, offers, free passes for the Adult Swim Festival. Come on, please. I'll be your best friend, Adult Swim, please. What else? Subscribe to the podcast on Google Play and iTunes. Audio-only episodes go up every Wednesday. Video usually goes up by the weekend on the official YouTube channel of Surreal Resolution. Just follow that, subscribe, hit the bell tab so you're always notified when shit goes up there. Follow us on Twitter at SurrealReso. Like us on Facebook. Find us online at surrealresolution.com. And find the podcast on decibelboost.surrealresolution.com. Be sure to listen to us. Listen to Podcast OSNA as well for all kinds of anime content.
Here.
Be sure to keep up with our written content as well. All that music reviews and good stuff. Of course, I'll be reviewing Fully Cooley Progressive as that's airing. Once that starts in June, so keep an eye out for that. Be sure to jump into our Discord if you ever want to post dank pictures about Corey in the house on Nintendo DS. And shout out to the producer, Mr. E, for graciously letting me use his music for this podcast. Links to his shit down in the description. Thank you for joining us this week. We'll see you next week. And until then, it's fucking Laurel!